Hello. Hello. Let's get Instagram up and my notes up. Hello. Happy CEO Monday, Instagram and YouTube. How are we going? By the way, if you haven't already on Instagram, I'm just getting my notes up. Make sure you go watch my reel I posted today. If you're coming off of YouTube, go watch my reel. I take you through the process in my latest reel of what I do to set up my CEO Mondays and what like the systems in the process and really what helps me set my week up for success. And I'm going to give it like a bit of a background. So this live is like the deeper in-depth talk about that process and the CEO energy, why I'm always saying happy CEO Monday all of the time. And I'm really excited to go into this because I'm going to kind of like share my journey of starting my business and the key things to really stepping into a CEO mindset. And this is, of course, inspired by my current 12-week mastermind, Become the CEO. It is for female entrepreneurs who are wanting to scale to consistent 10 to 30K months, but more importantly, create a legacy, create a business that gives you the freedom that you want. Maybe freedom to you is finishing your business work at 3 p.m. so you can spend more time with your kids. Or maybe freedom to you is being able to book a trip every other month for you and your partner. So, this is really the energy of also CEO Mondays is setting yourself up for success by getting so crystal clear on what success is for you. So I look over here, I am just looking at my notes, but I'm going to just talk about like a little bit of a background of when I started my business. I started my business in 2019. I actually quit my job. I moved to Bali. I started the business. And probably for the first 2 years, I was in this like a deep hustle, 2.5 years, deep hustle mode where like I could go back on the archives of my Instagram stories and I can find like it'd be like a story and be like hustle mode, hustle. Now, I just want to say I do believe in hustle, but in a different way now. I believe in discipline. I believe in focus when it comes to creating and succeeding in your goals, whether they're monetary, whether they're to do with lifestyle, whether they're to do with relationships. So the hustle for me has changed, and I'll share a bit into that. But for me, the hustle back then was really like grinding, working hard, and having to like prove a point to the beliefs that I already had that to be successful or to make money in my business, I had to work super, super hard. And this came from watching my dad work super hard, hearing my parents, talk about money and calling things expensive and talking about the struggles. And so it really rooted in me. And if you look at like me in primary school and high school, I was definitely an overachiever. I was doing everything from playing sports, playing musical instruments, from being a prefect to academically challenging myself to everything, you name it. Big overachiever. And I took that energy into my business. And so for the first 2.5, nearly 3 years, I was in this full hustle mode that if I'm going to succeed, I really need to push myself. I really need to push myself to this burnout. And what actually happened is by the time 2022 came around, so 2 years ago now, I felt this huge disconnect in my business. I honestly resented my business. And it's not until the past couple of months I've really opened up and have spoken about this because I wanted to understand it for myself. I wanted to ensure that all of the practices and the rituals and the things that I put in place and the work that I've done behind the scenes is fully solidified and I fully stand behind it. And it's things that I will be teaching inside Become the CEO Mastermind. But for me in 2022, I hate this disconnect because I was fully burnt out and I was in this pool between am I going to be like hustling and grinding and doing the absolute most for my entire business? Like, I don't know how long I'm going to have this business for. It could be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 70 years. Or I really want to find this spot where I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. I was in this moment in 2022. I remember I was going back and maybe it was like this, what I needed. So it was 2022. And like I said, I moved to Bali and I started my business in 2019. Because of the pandemic, I had to move back to Australia. 2022 rolls around and I had this opportunity. I'd always wanted to go back to Bali because I felt like I left, like I just had to leave. And I hadn't really, like, I still felt like I had unfinished business there, just with like friends and living there. So I actually went for 3 months in 2022 with my partner. And I remember just feeling like I definitely closed off that chapter, but I was really in this big, like all these beliefs started surfacing of how I really wanted to operate in my business. And I realized I had such a disconnect because I was hustling, but I wanted to also flow and be in my feminine energy. I realized that I just was not really in my business and it stalled me for a long time. I had these subconscious beliefs. And so I just heard a baby crying. That was so random, like on my balcony. That was so random. So I had all of these beliefs and they really came to surface in 2022 when it's been the past couple of years of me working through them, understanding my fear of being seen, my fear of judgment, my fear of success, especially. And now, like, I just want to share with you, just getting back onto my notes. So I know that I can like go on a rant on my lives, but I instead of being in this hustle mindset or on the other end of the spectrum where I was like, there were moments where I was truly like laid back. And I believe that there are the two ends of the spectrum when it comes to running a business. What I see and I have experienced personally is there will be business owners who are hustle, hustle, go, go, go. Like, if I don't hustle, if I don't feel a little bit burnt out, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to see the money I desire. That's one end of the spectrum. I experienced that for the first 2.5 years of my business. The other end of the spectrum, I started to experience in 2022 that created this lull in my business where it's kind of like, well, I've done the work. Just going to like manifest and hope for the best with the universe. This is coming from someone who's very spiritual. This is coming to someone who actively, obviously, we're always manifesting, but actively manifesting, and someone who, does the rituals, looks at what's happening with the moon, all of that. So I understand both spectrums, and I kind of was so burnt out that I was like, how about I just try change these beliefs and I just completely like sit back and relax in my business and like I've done everything I really need to do. This created such a huge disconnect in how I was operating and my results and like things slowing down that it was this huge effect over my business. And so, what I have really been working on over the past 1.5 years, more specifically, is transitioning from out of these two ends of the spectrum into a CEO mindset, which for me is the neutrality of it. It's bringing both ends of the discipline and the focus of being able to be in receiving mode and to like listen and integrate your body and understand what's happening with your nervous system, coming into what I call a CEO mindset. And again, inspired by my current mastermind, Become the CEO, is really understand you really can have it all and create it all, but it's setting yourself up for that success. And so, beliefs that I really had to undo was my belief of being seen, my belief of being heard, my belief of people are going to judge me. And the process that I take my clients through that I'll be teaching in this mastermind is really being able to neutralize that, number one. Also, my fear of being successful. When I have conversations with business owners, I can tell within like 5 to 15 minutes of having a conversation if you have this deep subconscious belief of being super successful. And it shows up in many, many different ways of dimming your light, being successful and also like having a fear of being successful, having a fear of judgment can be shown in like dimming your light, not saying what you really want to say, not charging the things you want to charge, not share like the prices, not sharing your actual values, taking on clients just for the sake of making money, also doing things like it feels like you're doing your content, it feels like you're doing client work, it feels like you're doing businessy things, and then at the end of the day you're like laying in bed fucking exhausted, but you're also like, what did I achieve today? And I spoke about this on a live last week. That's called the bare minimum mindset. That's where you tick off your bare minimums, you get the dopamine hit, and then you actually don't move forward. There's no progress because you're riding the same Ferris wheel, right? You're never upgrading your seats, your experience. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. I see this in so many business owners and so many female entrepreneurs who I work with. Is like, okay, where are you at? What are you doing? And is it actually a bare minimum mindset? And in fact, when you join Become the CEO Mindset, we do an onboarding call. Everything in there, even though it's a mastermind, it's a hybrid mastermind group, but also personalized feedback. You get an onboarding call where I sit with you, I get you to answer these extensive questions, and then I sit with you and we go through this and we make sure that everything's personalized. I don't believe in cookie cutter strategies on the dashboard. Of course, you have my concepts, you have my frameworks that have been tried and tested over the past 5.5 years, but everything will be personalized to you and tailored towards you and understanding your own business and understanding who you want to be in your business. Like I said, Become the CEO. It's more of a movement. It's not just a mastermind. It's a movement of who are you becoming in your business. Your business needs to be an extension of you. And that is really what I had to embody, is understanding, like, how can I instead make this business, make everything that I'm doing an extension of me? There would be times where I would go out on a Thursday and have a coffee with a friend, and I was freaking the fuck out of my nervous system because I'm like, I should be at home, like doing this and doing that and doing this. Right? That's not operating as a CEO. That's operating in the scarcity mindset. This operating like, you have just started a business in the first week. We don't want that. Even if you are coming in to become the CEO mastermind and you're in your first week of business, it's teaching you from the get-go, how can you actually shift and change that? How can you actually have a different perspective? And so I really had to have these mindset shifts of being able to come into the neutral middle ground of grabbing the discipline and the focus from the hustle side, but also grabbing the receiving, the feminine energy, the way of believing, self-trust, belief, conviction. Having conviction in what I'm doing. I see this as a big failing point that a lot of people don't speak about when it comes to business owner. Your conviction. If you cannot hold your conviction through the ups and the downs, you will always waver. You will always find yourself operating in scarcity. And in fact, I want to read to you, so it's verbatim, this thread that I posted last night that I think sums that up perfectly and like will be a bit of a vibe inside of Become the CEO, because Become the CEO is essentially following my WoMastery methodology. The WoMastery methodology has 3 phases: subconscious reprogramming, identity shifting, and regulating to a brand new capacity. We're taking that, we're fusing that into the CEO method. And so this, what I'm about to read you, really embodies what it means to regulate to a new capacity with your nervous system. So I wrote this last night. Okay. A truly successful business owner knows how to navigate their nervous system, not just in moments of winning, when sales soar and goals are achieved, but also when launches flop, payments fail, or someone challenges their content. Mastering your nervous system reveals the invisible limits holding you back, even when you think you've made it. It's the key to breaking through and achieving the next level of success. And I really had to navigate that. I really had to navigate what that looked like. Yes, it's so great when you're winning in your business, when a piece of content is well received, when you're making sales, when people are DMing you, when things are on a high and you're reaching those monetary or, non-monetary goals. But what happens when payments fail? What happens when something flops? What happens when no one reaches out for an offer that you were feeling really, really good about and you were feeling really, really not rolled up? That is a perception of, that gives me a perception of negativity, but something that you will really geared up. You're like, this is exciting. I love it. I'm feeling inspired by this. What happens then to your nervous system? And this is really what the middle ground is being able to solidify, and again, the WoMastery methodology, being able to solidify as a CEO, okay, what am I programming myself to believe when it comes to my business success? Then who am I? How am I showing up? How do I perceive myself? The thing is, you can try fake it till you make it. And that can work to a degree to help brainwash yourself, to subconsciously reprogram yourself. But if you aren't actually perceiving yourself as that person, if you actually aren't embodying those vibes of being that identity, it's always going to waver. And then from them, it's being able to regulate to new capacities, being able to bring in more and do more and more and more and more. There are a lot of coaches out here that will have one 10K, 30K, 100K month once, and they won't repeat it because they can't hold it. Their nervous system can't hold it. Everything that we do and Become the CEO, everything that I teach my clients overall in lifestyle and business is about consistency, being able to hold that capacity time and time and time again, but to expand even more. Now, let me just check my notes so I didn't miss anything from there. Um, and one of the biggest parts is being able to trust yourself, trust your decisions. I, over the past couple of years, have made a couple of investments. Some have been better than others. And every investment, there's never any regrets or anything, because all of them give you feedback on, number one, your investment style, your investment choices, but who you are in that investment. And there were times where I really had to learn to trust myself. Something that I give my clients is I never give anything for fact, or like this is the only way to do something. I give them suggestions. I give them the concepts and frameworks that have been proven, that have worked time and time again for many different women. I've coached over 400 women now and mentored for over 100 women. But something that I teach my clients is to trust themselves, to trust their decisions. And that may go against me, that may go against any other mentor or coach that they follow. And that was a big thing that I've had to relearn over the past year and a half, building and scaling this current business that I have and this movement that I have, is trusting myself. Something I do alongside this business is I hold intimate dinner parties for women, like no more than 10 women. I have one this Saturday, which I'm super excited about. And if you're in Brisbane and you want to get in on that, definitely send me a DM. There are one or two tickets left. But I had to trust myself in that. I was working one day and I got this drop, like, now's the time, you need to do this. Here's your idea, action right now. And I quite literally actioned it that day. And I just went wild with it and I trusted myself. If I didn't trust myself, or I listened to other people, like, you need to do this, this, and this, I would have faltered. I would have faltered in my belief, and it would have taken me a long time to actually be able to action that. And so one of the biggest things is being able to trust your own abilities to know what you need in that moment. And sometimes that's the scariest thing, because sometimes, what's this comment? Yeah, big trust is self-trust is the biggest thing that you can have as a human being. Exactly. And I think that sometimes when we aren't actually tapping into that self-trust and we're not tapping into what we need, we're always going to second guess. We're always going to look for different answers. We're always going to look for someone else to validate us, for other experiences to validate us. And so being a CEO in your business, even being a CEO in your life, become the CEO Mastermind. Yes, we have a big focus on business. It's a strategy business container. But what I also focus on is a CEO identity, which is everything in your life. If you act one way in your business, but it's incongruent with how you act in your lifestyle, there's going to be disconnect. You're going to feel disconnected. It doesn't matter how much money that you make, you're going to feel disconnected. The time that I was feeling the most disconnected, when I was hitting big monetary goalposts in my business, there was no congruency between my personal life and my business. My business was not an extension of me. And this is because I had a fear of judgment. I had a fear of success. I had a fear of what happens if I welcome into this next level. And this is, the root of Become the CEO is really around how do we reprogram all of that for you to act like your business is a business rather than having a hobbyist mindset. So, of course, any questions around Become the CEO, if you are a female entrepreneur wanting to scale to consistent 10K to 30K months, build a legacy, but also, most importantly, have a business that is an extension of you. Have a business that gives you freedom to finish business at 3 p.m. and hang out with your kids, freedom to book a flight wherever you want, freedom to go to a yoga class at 12 p.m. It doesn't matter, but this is what Become the CEO is. And if you're resonating with that, come and join, send me a DM, go to the link in my bio on YouTube. You can go in the show notes below. But it really is understanding, shifting from that hustle mentality into the CEO energy is bringing these two ends of the spectrum, the masculine energy, the feminine energy. So the masculine hustle, go, 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 the feminine of like rest, receive, bringing those together to merge into neutrality. And this is the sweet spot. This is when you are able to understand how to integrate both of these ends of the spectrum. I promise you, not just in your business, but your entire life will change. It will change in ways that you couldn't even imagine. And this is what I've been tirelessly working on. Someone posted thread today, and I did re-quoted it, and the thread was basically, if you, similar to what I said, is like, you can hit 120K a month, but are you able to do that over and over again? And I said, this is exactly why it's taken me 5 years to create a business container, right? Because I wanted to be in integrity, but I also wanted to practice what I preach over and over and over again, but also get my clients to do that over and over and over again. That's the most important thing to me. So being able to merge these two, being able to understand subconsciously what is holding you back from creating the income that you absolutely desire, being able to understand those, your programming, your identity, the state of your nervous system, but able to bring yourself into a position of, I'm building this business, I'm making it an extension of me, I'm in creating a legacy, and this is something that is a part of me. And so when something's a part of you, you need it to work in seamlessly. You can't be waking up every single day being stressed the fuck out about what to post or where's your money coming from. And now, we don't want to be disconnected and be like, of course, business doesn't. We don't want to say like business doesn't come with the ups and downs. Of course it does. Being a business owner is hard. No one gives you a disclaimer, right? It is hard. That's not a mindset. There are challenges. Any successful entrepreneur, business owner, Alex Hormozi says it. Layla Hormozi says it. Anyone, you would say Elon Musk says it. Right? Look at these big leaders. Steve Jobs. Watch one of my favorite movies to watch to get super inspired is the Steve Jobs movie, where they go through how he created Apple, how he got fired, how he got hired back. And now, I'm right now, you're watching this live on my Apple iPhone, and YouTube, you're watching this off my MacBook Pro. Like, he created something that is legendary. It's a legacy. It doesn't mean that you need to go and create the next Apple. If you want to, incredible. But your legacy needs to be something that fully inspires you, lights you up. There are too many business owners that are doing it because they think it's the right thing, or they're just doing it the same way over and over and over again. They don't want to pivot. They don't want to change. They don't want to do anything different because they think they need to do the same thing over and over. No. Part of Become the CEO Mastermind is about creating the business that is an extension of you, but is so super fucking inspiring for you. It lights you up. But what I was saying on that is, like, I always watch the Steve Jobs movie, like, at least once a quarter, because it's something that truly inspires me of, like, what happens when you have a vision and you trust yourself and you keep putting in the work. And look, he worked hard, right? He had the discipline and focus. It doesn't mean he's like burning out, doing the things that doesn't matter. And that's the difference. If you're burning out, you're not inspired, you're not doing the needle moving things. You're just working for the sake of it. You're creating content for the sake of it. You're doing things in your business, creating a Notion board, looking at your Google Calendar for the sake of it. We don't want that. We want you to have that CEO mindset and that energy inside your business. But again, inside your life as well, because you want to be the leader of your life. You want to be able to be someone who is fully leading her life and creating a life that is inspiring and one that she wakes up excited to. Are you going to have a bad day? Yes, of course you are. You're going to have many, many moments where life gets in the way. That's life. But let's learn how to navigate those and come into this true neutrality. And these are the shifts that I've been making over the past couple of years. I hope this gave you some insight. If you are going to come and join us, like, I invite you, come and join us and become the CEO Mastermind. It is going to, honestly, not just change your business, but change your life. We get that onboarding call as well. There's a bunch of bonuses that you can take advantage of. If you have any questions, if it's the right fit for you, please just send me a DM. We can have a conversation. If not, send right here CEO or link in bio to sign straight up. There are payment plans. There's also a VIP option that has a lot more of the one-on-one personalized feedback, mentorship. But yeah, any questions, let me know. I hope you got something from this live, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.